Good afternoon and welcome to the Geek Show. We're going to be here for an hour just chatting about, The Witcher and just chilling and vibing. So yeah, let's just before we kick into The Witcher, let's just have a little bit of a general chat about how our week's been so far. How you doing,
I'm good, yeah. Stressed because we've got exams coming out soon, but
yeah,
I'm alright.
I mean, it's nice to have this hour out where we just get to chat about whatever we want and it's not getting judged by our lecturers. I don't know what it is. I find
it'll get judged by other people, but not the lecturers.
I always feel like, I immediately tense up when the whole class is watching it, but like right now I'm like, as you listeners probably aren't able to see right now, I'm currently lounging back in my seat and just swinging around. Right.
And I look half dead. So, yeah.
Exactly. But yeah, we're still able to put on these happy voices. So, yeah. The magic of radio. Right, so of course this week, just with some fandom news, of course we had the announcement that Kenobi was going to be delayed by
2 days.
2 days.
It's now delayed to 27th of May. I think the premiere's been delayed. I'm not sure why. I don't know, maybe it's like scheduling issues or what. But I'm not that bothered because we're now getting a double episode premiere
we're being rewarded for our suffering. So
I'd rather wait 2 more days to get double episodes on the first week. And then I assume it's going to be like one afterwards. But I'm really excited for that. I
mean, I assume that maybe it's just they're maybe finishing some stuff up editing-wise. And I'd rather have something that looks great rather than something that looks half-arsed and,
I'd rather wait a little bit longer.
Yeah, we'll wait for the quality. Of course we had the lovely Moonlight.
Moonlight,
oh god. Moonlight.
Oh my goodness, Moonlight episode 1 aired last Wednesday and it's honestly my favourite show opener of all time. It was so good. Yeah. I really recommend it because basically you don't need to know any Marvel behind the scene things.
I mean that's good, right?
It's a new era for Marvel with this. So basically Marvel's splitting into 7 different branches now.
Nice.
And one of their new ones is Supernatural branch.
Is that also what's happening with Morbius as well, where it's they're saying Marvel Legends or something?
Yeah, I don't really know what's going on because that's Sony.
Is that... Oh, right, okay, so that could be
I don't really know because does that technically come under the Spider-Man branch because it's its own branch?
Yeah.
I'm not sure, but they also... So the Supernatural one, so it's been kicked off with Midnight.
Yeah.
And then they're bringing out a new Blade film.
Yeah,
and then there's also, like, other Supernatural, like, people they want to bring in and stuff, so... Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, we've got, like, a lot of fun to look forward to. But, it's just fun to see Marvel develop now past its movies and everything. I mean, I think we had a discussion where I said I'm going to wait until all the Midnight episodes are out.
I don't know how you do that.
I like to binge stuff. Like, I like to be able to move on. I'm a bit rubbish at waiting.
Really? No, I quite like watching stuff weekly when it airs because it means it gives you time to think about what the next one's going to be about and to analyse what could happen. Maybe that's just a nerd in me.
I mean, it works for me in some things, but for my superheroes and my fast-paced action, not so much. I kind of like to move from one scene to the next.
I think Midnight works though the way it's weekly.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm not going to say why because it spoils it, but...
You know what? I will watch the episode this week and then I'll decide.
Episode 2 airs tomorrow, which I'm excited.
I've not yet been convinced, but I will give it a try.
I will convince you to watch it.
Right, so let's just dive into the show. This week is going to be about The Witcher, obviously, which was a huge Netflix sensation, really. I think it changed the way that Netflix counted its views or something like that. So yeah, that was a big deal when it first came out, obviously. You've not watched it up until this point.
I had never seen it. All I knew about it was just what I seen in billboards. I'd never seen it before, so I watched season 1. So we could just reiterate that I only know season 1.
Yeah.
And I have a confession. I have seen episodes 1 to 8, except for 7, and here's the reason why. I thought
there'd be a good reason.
There is a good reason. Well, for me it's a good reason. Maybe not so much for you. But I woke up this morning and I was like, okay, fine, I can get the last episode done before I leave for uni while I'm doing uni work. I woke up and then my flatmate was like, oh, do you want to watch an episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer at breakfast? And I was like, yes. So I didn't have time to watch 7, so I just had to go skip to 8 and just Google the synopsis of 7. Yeah. I'm sorry. I do like The Witcher, but I'm a bit obsessed with Buffy.
I mean, you're forgiven, because I would say that episode 7 is one of the more talkier and less action.
Okay, that's fine.
So you didn't really miss much action in the grand scheme of things. Me personally, I got into The Witcher probably when it was blowing up on Netflix, mainly because I saw my mum and my sister were watching it. I think I actually dove in with them on the 7th episode, so I'd not actually seen anything before that.
Oh, right, okay.
Which probably isn't the right way to watch it. It's
No.
not the way it's intended to be watched. So I had to then go back to the start and watch it by myself. One thing I think I had to kind of get my head round, which maybe you didn't because I did warn you about it, was obviously the 3 separate timelines that we have.
Yeah, I'm really glad you told me about that, because I would literally been sitting there completely clueless if you had not told me about that.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't help that half the characters don't age, so yeah. I mean, of course, there's obviously also all the other stuff outside the TV show. You've got the books and the games. I have actually only read the first book, and that was after I watched The Witcher.
Is season 1 just one book, or is it many?
It's kind of split over several books.
Right.
I mean, it's not really following the timeline of the books, I wouldn't say. That's what I've been told anyway.
Oh, right, okay.
It's more just dipping into the lore and the characters.
Because I was thinking, if this is one book, it's a bloody long book.
Yeah, I mean, I actually don't know how many Witcher books there are. I know a lot of game fans are a bit annoyed with the TV show, obviously, because it doesn't follow the stories of the games. But then again, I've never been a big gaming fan, so that didn't bother me that much.
Apart from like Mario Kart and Lego Star Wars.
I
never
am
really played
rubbish.
any games.
I'm rubbish at any kind of game. I didn't even get it past Mario Kart.
What? Really?
Yeah, I'm not good at it.
To be honest, I think the only game I've ever actually completed though is Lego Star Wars. The rest, there's still stuff I've never completed.
I mean, you saw me playing Lego Star Wars after Comic Con. That was an experience, right?
I think the best bit about that was when we were playing R2-D2 and I just got the Hoover out to mimic the noise.
Yeah, I mean, it's a fun. I'm not into games. I'm sorry.
Neither am I. I mean, I play Minecraft every so often.
Yeah.
I just get this random spur of, I fancy building a house.
I mean, I think one of the things that appeals to people with the Witcher games is obviously there is a story to it. It's not just mindless violence, sort of.
But just talk about the violence. It was weird because I've never seen Game of Thrones. That's never really interested me.
Yeah.
So it was kind of weird seeing a fantasy thing with violence for me.
Yeah, I always feel like the fantasy that both of us are into is very PG.
Yeah, because I was talking about this. So there's different levels of fantasy,
Yeah.
and I'm not really into the highest level fantasy, which is like The Witcher, which is like the whole new world stuff. The only one I really properly was into before The Witcher is Lord of the Rings.
Yes.
But apart from that, the levels of fantasy I like had some more, like they were still in our world.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. Of course.
So it was weird going from like my image of this type of fantasy as being Lord of the Rings, to The Witcher, and suddenly seeing all this like quite violence and gore, and I was like, oh, this is kind of taking me by surprise.
Yeah, I mean it's
okay.
It's a good show. And just to round this up, did you think, based on the first 3 episodes, did it kind of pull you in to want to watch more, or was it? Do you feel like if you didn't have me keeping you to a deadline, or if you must watch it
I
in 1
think I
week?
probably would have like taken a while to get through it, because the first few episodes were kind of slow and confusing, and I was kind of like, oh, okay. But I was like, right, I need to watch this because we've got this deadline thing for this show. Thank you. It was like homework. But then I got to episode 4 and I was like, oh, actually, no, this is decent. Like, it got better in episode 4, so I'm glad I continued with it. And yeah, I did enjoy it. I'm
kind of proud that I got you into this show. Like, it's like watching a mama bird watching her chicks fly off into the sunset.
Well then, that's an image I didn't think I had when in my head to do, but there we are.
Anyway, so before we move on to section 2, we're going to give you a quick wee song. We're going to give you My Tears Ricochet by Taylor Swift. Actually, I think we were listening, because obviously we do have to discuss what kind of music we're going to put on this week, and we did think that this actually kind of reminded us a lot of Yennefer. This is basically Yennefer's theme.
Yeah, it kind of is actually.
Yeah, so without further ado, here's My Tears Ricochet.